I can't move. Okay, it's being live stream. Got it? Okay. Okay, great. Srimad Bhagavatam 1:15-9. Yate jasandri pashirondri green aham makartam aryon mujastava galayuta satvavirya tenarita pramatanata makaya bupa yamochitastadananya balim adware. How is the audio? Please give me a feedback.
Yeah, we still can't hear you.
You can hear me, is okay?
Yes.
Okay. If it's too loud, please let me know because this is just a condensed microphone. Okay?
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
great. Yat whose Tejasa by influence, Nripashira angry, one whose feet are adored by the heads. Just a second. Let me move here. I cannot see. Okay. By the heads of kings. Ahan killed Maka Artam for the sacrifice. Just a second. For the sacrifice. Arya respectable. Anuja younger brother. Tava your Gajayuta 10,000 elephants. Satwa Virya powerful existence. Tena by him Arita collected. Pramata Nata the lord of the ghosts, Mahabhairava, Makaya for sacrifice, Bhupa kings, Yatamochita by whom they were released, Tat Ananyam all of them brought, Bali taxes, Adware presented, Te Yor. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Your respectable younger brother who possesses the strength of 10,000 elephants killed by his grace Jarasandha, whose feet were worshipped by many kings. These kings had been brought for sacrifice in Jarasandha's Mahabhairava Jagya, but they were thus released. Later they paid tribute to your majesty. Purport. Jarasandha was a very powerful king of Magadha, and the history of his birth and activities is also very interesting. His father, King Brihadratha, was also a very prosperous and powerful king of Magadha, but he had no son, although he married two daughters of the king of Kashi. Being disappointed in not getting a son from either of the two queens, the king, along with his wives, left home to live in the forest for austerities. But in the forest he was benedicted by one great rishi to have a son, and he gave him one mango to be eaten by the queens. The queens did so and were very soon pregnant. The king was very happy to see the queens bearing children, but when the ripe time approached, the queens delivered one child in two parts, one from each of the queen wombs. The two parts were thrown in the forest where a great she demon used to live, and she was glad to have some delicate flesh and blood from the newly born child. Out of curiosity, she joined the two parts, and the child became complete and regained life. Then she demon was known as Jara, and being compassionate on the childless king, she went to the king and presented him with the nice child. The king was very pleased with the she demon and wanted to reward her according to her desire. She demon expressed her desire that the child be named after her, and thus the child was surnamed Jarasandha, or one who was joined by Jara, the she demon. In fact, this Jarasandha was born as one of the parts and parcels of the demon Viprachiti. The saint by whose benedictions the queens bore the child was called Chandra Kaushika, who foretold of the child before his father Brihadrata. Since Jarasandha possessed demoniac qualities from birth, Naturally, he became a great devotee of Lord Shiva, the lord of all ghostly and demonic men. Ravana was a great devotee of Shiva, and so also Jarasandha. He used to sacrifice all arrested kings before Lord Mahabhairava Shiva, and by his military power, he defeated many small kings and arrested them to butcher before Mahabhairava. There are many devotees of Lord Mahabhairava or Kala Bhairava in the province of Bihar, formerly called Magadha. Jarasandha was a relative of Kansa, the maternal uncle of Krishna, and therefore, after Kansa's death, King Jarasandha became a great enemy of Krishna. And there were many fights between Jarasandha and Krishna. Lord Krishna wanted to kill him, but he also wanted that those who served a military man for Jarasandha might not be killed. Therefore, a plan was adopted to kill him. Kripa, Bhima, and Arjuna together went to Sahadev. Can you please move the screen? Sahadev?
That is the end of it. It cannot go up again. But
Can you go down?
yeah, this is the bottom, the end. It cannot go down further. Is it too small? You want to see it big?
Can you move it?
No, see, this is the end. It doesn't go any lower.
Oh, I understand. No, I can't see here. Just a second. Can you read?
Yes.
Please read the rest. Bhima and Arjuna together went to. This is where I stopped.
Okay. Bhima and Arjuna together went to Jarasandha in the dress of poor Brahmins and begged charity from King Jarasandha. Jarasandha never refused charity to any Brahmin, and he performed many sacrifices also. Yet, he was not on par with the devotional service.
Hare Krishna.
Lord Krishna,
Haribo, Haribo.
Bhima and Arjuna
Haribo, Haribo.
asked Jarasandha for the facility of fighting him, and it was settled that Jarasandha would fight with Bhima only. So all of them were both guests and commandants of Jarasandha. And Bhima and Jarasandha fought every day for several days. Bhima became disappointed, but Krishna gave him hints about Jarasandha's being joined together as an infant. And thus Bhima dissected him again and so killed him. All the kings who were detained in the concentration camp to be killed before Mahabhairava were thus released by Bhima. Feeling thus obliged to the Pandavas, they paid tribute to King Yudhishthira. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Gora Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Agyana Timiranda Syaganam Janam Shalakaya Chakshur Militan Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Aradhyo Bhagavam Vraje Shatanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidu Pasana Vrajavadu Vargena Vakalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartamaham Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam Tatra Dharana Paraha Vanchakalpaturubhyscha Kripa Sindhubhyavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So thank you very much for the opportunity. Good evening, everyone. Now in India it's almost 9 p.m. in Mayapur Dham. It's a pleasure to be with you all again here in the ISKCON Africa most famous Bhagavatam class. Haribo. All glories to Sahadev Prabhu's and team. Well, this was just like pastimes that we heard, so we know better who was Jarasandha, from where he came from, what's his background, why he was doing and being what he was, the way they act, the way he was thinking. Like he naturally became Krishna's enemies, Jarasandha, by invade Mathura 18 times. And according to the Bhagavatam, Krishna never killed him because Krishna thought that this is so good that he brings all these demons here, so I don't have to do anything, just to wait and kill off all of them, and then wait for Jarasandha to gather them again in a second army, and then they come here again, and then I kill them. So it was Krishna's plan. Krishna is a genius. Prabhupada explained that. What Krishna was doing with Jarasandha, during the 17 battles, and then 18 battle, when Krishna just moved all the inhabitants of Mathura in the night, Krishna moved them to Dwaraka. So all the Mathura inhabitants, they were moved to gold palaces in Dwaraka during their sleep. Krishna left Mathura. So this is the pastime. When they woke up in palaces in Dwaraka. This is very interesting. All these people were living in Mathura, and Mathura is Uttar Pradesh, UP, okay? This is geographically speaking. Uttar Pradesh means Vrindavan, okay? Nearby the Himalayas. And they woke up in the beach, in the sea, in palaces, in the kingdom of Dwaraka. And this is Gujarat, and it's another state of India, the full state. So I had been to Dwaraka, and it's very beautiful, very amazing place with the sea has blue waters. So when you come to India, one day, don't go only Vrindavan, Mayapur, Puri. One day you go to Dwaraka, okay? It's very easy. You just get a plan, a flight from Delhi to Allahabad, no, to Rajkot. And in Rajkot, there is a huge temple, ISKCON temple. You can stay there. And from Rajkot, you go to Dwaraka. And in Dwaraka, also ISKCON is there. Prasad, guest house, such an amazing place. You go visit this place. Are very, very good, very, very beautiful. So this is what happened. This is the magic. This is the mysticism. Krishna is Maha Yogeshwara, the great and the controller of all mystic powers. And nowadays we can see every day mystic power. The sun rising and sunset every day happens due to Krishna mystic power. We think, every day we see the sun, and then it happens like this, and then rain came, and everything is automatic. Who is doing that? My father, your great grandfather, who is doing that? Isn't it? This is under Krishna's mystic power. Birth, death, it's all energies. So it's not like such a big thing that, Jarasandha, sometimes we think, two wives, and then they had, half a kid, and then throw this in the forest, and then somebody put it together. What a crazy story, blah, blah, blah. May I don't believe that. Actually, mysticism, it's normal. It's normal. But less things are happening like that here in Kali Yuga, because everything is very gross nowadays, But even in Kali Yuga, we can see miracles every day. Radhanatha Swami gave this example of a kid. He said, a baby, it's a very small body, but when he screams, disturbs the whole class. Hundreds of people. It's just like how a body, a very small body, can have a very powerful sound system. This is what Maharaj said. And it's very interesting, you know, a small kid, very, very huge, powerful sound system. What is this? Mystic power, isn't it? A seed, a very small, is a tree. The tree power, the DNA of a tree is in a seed, is in a seed. And then the seed grows, and from the seed, a tree comes up. And who did that? This is a mystic power, isn't it? This is a mystic power. So if there is mystic power right now, why not that time? So you preach to your mind, why not, when we say that Krishna, when we say that that the inhabitants of Mathura woke up in Dwarka, in the beach, in the gold palaces, this is not like a big deal, isn't it? Since nowadays we are seeing all this, if you will observed, you know, in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is full of wisdom. Uddhava Gita, isn't it? Bhagavad Gita is Arjuna and Krishna dialogue, okay? And Uddhava Gita is Krishna and Uddhava dialogue. This is the reason why it's called Uddhava Gita. Uddhava Gita is so beautiful. Everyone, every devotee should read the whole Bhagavatam, including Uddhava Gita. Uddhava Gita is full of wisdom. When you read Uddhava Gita, you get very intelligent. Your intelligence is developed by studying Uddhava Gita. In Uddhava Gita, you learn normal life issues, asking by Uddhava to Krishna. Uddhava is extremely intelligent. You know the questions that you always want to make, but you don't know how to make the questions. Those questions that you have, but you don't know how to make. Uddhava is making these questions in our behalf. I'll give you an example. Krishna was telling Uddhava, so the process of self-realization, was telling him about yoga, about self-control, about so many things. All the process, Ashtanga Yoga, what have to do, knowledge, acceptance of a spiritual master, you know, telling many things. And then Krishna says in the end, but if you meet my devotee, and then you come to me very easily. This is what Krishna says after explaining in the end. And then Uddhava, very intelligent, very sharply, he asked Krishna, Krishna, there are all kinds of devotees, so many devotees. Which devotee you are telling me, if I meet this person, I will go to you? Who is this person? And then this is the verse where Krishna described the 27 Vaishnava qualities. This devotee, and then is described there one by one the quality of a devotee, a pure devotee, that if you meet this person, you come to me. So Arjuna, Uddhava, he doesn't allow he cleared all the doubts, Uddhava. He cleared all the doubts. It's very, very interesting, and they go on talking. And Krishna is very liberal. Like Krishna says, charity. Charity depends on how much you possess. It doesn't have to be opulent. It depends. It's not like a very big charity, $1 million is better than 10 rupees charity. $1 million and $10 charity is the same for Krishna. If you can give $1. This is what you can give. And then according to your possessions. Another person can give $1 million according to their possessions. The power of your charity is the same of the power of the person with $1 million, because it doesn't depend of the quantity, but it depends on how much you can give. It's all accepted. So there is no rule, extreme, severe rules. It depends. It depends. So Krishna, he is going through. So when we see very, very extreme, like Manu Samhita rules and so many other rules, and we are very concerned because we think, oh God, I can never follow all these rules. How can I get Krishna Prema? How can I be liberated if I cannot follow all these rules in my life? For how many lives I still be here? We're very concerned about the rules. But Prabhupada was very liberal. Prabhupada was liberal. Okay, you cannot chant 64 rounds, at least 16 minimum. You chant 16 rounds, and then you work for Krishna. But Prabhupada was not speculating. Prabhupada was just following the Shastra. You know, the Vedic Shastras, they are not pushing, repressing, depressing in anyone. Vedic Shastras are not a Bible. Vedic Shastra is completely different. Vedic Shastra consider people's guna, karma, behavior, background. This consider everything. It's the most liberal we can find. That's Vedic Shastras. You know, I tell another pastime, Govardhan Puja. I'm reading Gopala Champu and then Govardhan Puja pastime. Is so beautiful. And in certain point of the pastime, Govardhan is eating. Can you imagine? All the food is there, all the prasada is there in Govardhan mountains and lakes and piles of everything delicious. And then Govardhan starts to eat. So the mountain open the mouth, and then arms come out, and then Govardhan start to put everything in the mouth. And can you imagine such a thing happen? Such a thing is happening. Such things, such unbelievable image. It's like a movie in front of your eyes. So Jiva Goswami says that the kids, they were watching this happening. They were very scared. They're scared to death. What's happening? The kids, Mama, Papa, please protect me. What's happening? They were very afraid, the kids. The youth were laughing like, look what's going on. Like you, they were always laughing. They was laugh about everything. They were laughing. The youth was laughing. The elders were just like, wow, watching with astonished. And the wise, they were worshiping. They were understanding what was really going on, Krishna Lila, the wise. And Sri Jiva Goswami said that all of them, the kids, the youth, the elders, and the wise, Govardhan was pleased with all of them. It's not like this, oh, these kids, they're not getting benefited because they are scared. Oh, look, the youth, they are laughing. This is aparad. You understand what I mean? Oh, these people, they're not praying, they're not understanding, they're ignorant. No. Nothing like that. Govardhan was blessing everyone, and he was happy with their emotions. They were offering what they had to Govardhan. Their emotions, their sincerity, their honesty. So this is a very important point that we have to understand. Very important point. That in 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, charity, devotional service, what you do is acceptable. It depends on your situation. So you offer what you can offer from where you are. This is the message of 11th canto. And Srila Prabhupada, when he founded ISKCON in New York, he was the same. He was very liberal, asking what you can do. Oh, I can do that, so please do it. And people were advancing, progressing spiritually. Let's talk about Shyamasundar, that he wrote Chasing Rhinos. Now is the third book. I read the two. Now I'm waiting for reading the third one. This book is incredible because Shyamasundara, he was in those places. He went with Prabhupada. He went to Russia with Prabhupada. Only Shyamasundara and Prabhupada, only both of them. So Shyamasundara, he was witnessing the situation, everything what happened, and he writes this in Chasing Rhinos, all the details. So Shyamasundara, he speaks about himself. He's very sincere. So he says, I was a drug dealer. Shyamasundara was a drug dealer before he joined. He was a manager, isn't it? He was managing to selling drugs, buying and selling drugs. But, you can say it's the wrong substance, but he has the skills for doing this. This is what was happening. This is what he was doing. So, can you imagine? And then he was caught. He was caught. He was caught by the police, and he had to go to jail for 30 days with Malati. Both got caught by the police, and they had to go to jail, okay, for 30 days. But they were very scared because they didn't know if they will get out from the jail or not. And then Prabhupada, they told Prabhupada, I didn't want to tell you, but, we were condemned and we have to go to the jail. Please pray for us. And Prabhupada, okay, you go. And then they stayed there for 30 days, and then they came back, and they continued to do devotional service. You understand? So because of his abilities to do business, he opened a business with Mukunda Maharaj, where they were selling incense and oils and helped Srila Prabhupada to establish ISKCON in San Francisco. This is what they were doing. And then he was managing many things, and he was organizing. He organized the famous 1972 Cross Maidan Mumbai Pandal program. You know how programs would happen. Before, Prabhupada was invited to go and speak on programs. And many times, they were not giving Prabhupada the time that Prabhupada was wanted, or having some problems. They're not satisfied. And Prabhupada said, you know what, we can do our own programs. And Shyamasundara said, I can organize that. So he was going, trying to make life members, and he came to know so many people in the city, and then he got a sponsorship, and he organized the Cross Maidan program, and then it was the ISKCON Hare Krishna only program. For the first time, it was organized by Shyamasundara. He did it. So many abilities. And you know what happened with Shyamasundara? He was a very good carpenter. He was working for John Lennon in UK. He was working, for some artists in San Francisco as a carpenter. He was creating things. So what happened to him? What happened? He carved the first Jagannath, Baladeva, and Subhadra for the West, isn't it? Because of his capabilities, because of his skills. Prabhupada told him to do it, and you remember, everybody knows this, that the Shyamasundara was smoking, and he put the packet of cigarettes on top of Baladeva's head. And when Prabhupada saw that, he asked him, how many cigarettes are you smoking? And then he said, I think two packets, and Prabhupada told him, you know, you just smoke one instead of two. Diminish this slowly. So Prabhupada was not completely like mad and condemned, you know, everyone, because he knew people needs time. So instead of people making people like faking some spiritual advancement, faking renunciation, it's better to help them to slowly understand and healthily understand their position and purify themselves and progress by chanting, by associating with the devotees, by hearing Bhagavatam, by having prasad. They don't have to be pushed. They don't have to be, you know, criticized or put, you know, the hand, chalk them. You have to do it. You have to do it. No. So they will do this artificially, just to be accepted by the society, and then eventually they will fall down. Why? Isn't it? We don't need that. Just be engaged according to your nature. You will progress, purify yourself, and you be honest. You should be honest. I give you an example. Let's suppose you say, Nitya Kishore, what do you mean I can be honest? You know what? I want to drink alcohol. I want to intoxicate. So do you think I should be honest and just intoxicate? The question is, why are you feeling attraction to the mode of ignorance? This is the next question. Because, you know, why you feel attraction for that? For example, we are going to Vrindavana from here, and in Vrindavana, we always, you know, feel that somebody is smoking marijuana. We don't care about that. We don't feel attraction for that. You do what you feel attraction to do. So you have to follow the 4 principles, and parallel to that, we have to chant and practice the processes, so then inside of us we will be detached from material activities. Only repressed will not work. Together with you know, the restrictions, we have to do positive activities that will make us understand who we really are, what's our identity, and by understanding, by knowledge cultivation, will not be attached or attracted to the mode of ignorance. Mode of ignorance, sleeping, intoxication, you know, anger, so many things belong to the mode of ignorance. Mode of ignorance, it should be give it up immediately. This is the reason why there are restrictions, because mode of ignorance should be, disregard should be, you know, otherwise there is no advancement. Only from passion onwards, not ignorance. Ignorance is only destruction. This is the nature of the mode of ignorance. So be honest means that you understand your position, and then you think, you reflect, why I'm feeling this way. And then you have to increase your devotional engagement, going to more association, you know, going to hearing, going to retreats, going to serve. You have to increase that and not do things behind the doors and just faking somebody that you are not. Your concern is what people think about me, instead of thinking why I am attracted to the lowest modes of nature. Why I'm attracted to that? That's the question that somebody should ask themselves, and not trying to cheat people around, you know, to fool people around, only concerned about what they will think about me, instead of thinking why I'm feeling this way. You understand? So it's already 45 minutes or 40 minutes. Please write your questions. Write your questions here, and we can start the questions and answer session.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Just a second. Let me open here. I closed what I did. Just a second. Hare Krishna. Okay. Open. I open again. Okay, Sahadevji, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Okay.
just a second. I don't have, like we read today, it's not so much philosophy, just Jarasanda's background. And if somebody wants to say anything else about Jarasandha, I already spoke that Krishna. I just want to say that Krishna, that day that Krishna is Ranchor, that Krishna ran away from the Javanan that wants to touch him, the untouchable. So Krishna appeared very beautiful in the gate of Mathura. He had no shoes, and then he was wearing a lotus garland, and he was very, very beautiful. That day when he was, running from the battlefield. So in Gujarat, in Gujarat, Krishna is very well known as Ranchor, the one who ran away from the battle with Jarasandha, and I forgot, the Javana king. Okay, so this is what I want to say. It's already, if you want to say anything, if you want to add anything or have any question, Sahadeva, please.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for the class, Mother Nitya, Kishore, as always. So, dear devotees, if anyone has a question, comment, realization, anything you have to share,
Yes, to share.
yeah, you are free to do that now. Hare Krishna. Let me see. Well, Mother Nitya Kishore, you see, Krishna as a person sometimes does things for the 11 entities to learn and practice as he is showing to us. And sometimes what he does is not meant for us, it's just for himself. It's just having fun for himself. Now, how do we know that this particular action Krishna performed is to help teach us a lesson, so we also do as such? Or this is not meant for human beings or living beings. This is only Krishna playing his pastime. How do we know? Because we, just like Lord Shiva drank the ocean of poison, he did it. I don't think it's meant for living entities to also learn how to drink poison. So my question is, how do we tell that, okay, this pastime Krishna is playing is just for himself to enjoy himself and his eternal associates, or this pastime is meant for we, the conditioned beings, to also learn and eventually become better devotees?
Okay. Thank you so much. Very intelligent question. Thank you. Look, actually, this is easy to understand. Very easy. And we shouldn't be confused with that. In this first canto is explaining, I don't know, I think I gave class somewhere else, that all Krishna Lila has nothing to do with conditioned souls and with the material world. Nothing to do. It's just like Prabhupada explained very nicely, easy to understand, that, there is a jail, and then the governor and his ministries, coordinators, they're going to visit the jail. They have nothing to do with the jail. What the jail means? Jail is a place for reformation, isn't it? It's a place for punishment. So there is a deal of anguish, a deal of anger, and then there are laws, very heavy laws, lawyers, judges, blah blah blah, timings, deadlines. There are so many things going on in the jail. It's like here is the jail, death, disease, birth, everything is happening here. But when the governor, his ministers and coordinators, they're going, psychologists, blah, blah, they're going to visit the jail. You understand? They have nothing to do with is happening there. They have nothing to do. So many things is happening in the jail, have nothing to do. They're going there, they look what's going on, they check the systems, they see if they were treated, blah, blah, blah. They go to they have some ideas. There's nothing to do, they have nothing to do with the jail system. So the same, when Krishna comes and he is with Arjuna, he is with all the queens and with the gopis, with Nanda Maharaj, with the cowherd boys and all the demigods. There are so many pastimes. Wow, amazing pastime. The pastime when Nanda Maharaj was kidnapped by Varuna. I love this pastime. And then when Varuna saw that Krishna's father, he was very much afraid. And Krishna was very angry at Varuna. He went there inside, to rescue Varuna, to rescue Nanda Maharaj, and everybody was very concerned. It's a very beautiful pastime. I love this pastime. So the pastimes has nothing to do. This pastimes is for us to feel attracted to Krishna. This is explained in so many ways. So many ways. But then there is the verse of Bhagavad Gita. What a great soul does, what's the name? Example is followed by others. But Krishna Lila, it's another category. Okay? But when Krishna wants us to do things, he is giving instructions. Krishna is not hiding anything. Krishna speaks to Arjuna. This is the way you should act. This is the way you should think. This is what is happening. He is very clear because Krishna is the original spiritual master. In Bhagavatam, 11th canto, Krishna has the role of a spiritual master. 11th canto is very, very important canto. Very, very important. I love the 11th canto. 10th canto is very big, also very good, all Krishna Lila. And 11th canto is only instructions, very clear instructions. Krishna is the original spiritual master. So when he wants us to do things, he tells. He tells Arjuna, he tells Uddhava, he tells even the gopis. He tells instructions. This is the way you do it. This happens like this. This is like this. He tells things. We don't have to be confused. Some small things. Krishna did that. We should follow. Where is Krishna? Krishna is God. Krishna is the supreme person. He is ruler of everyone. He is Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adi Govinda. I love this phrase, this sentence. Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. Anadir. He doesn't have any beginning. Anadir Adi, he is the beginning. His name is Govinda. Anadir Adi Govinda. Sarva Karana, of all causes, he is the cause. Ishvara Parama Krishna. The name of the supreme Ishvara is Krishna. Not Shiva, not, sometimes the Indian community, when they're new, they don't want us to say that Krishna is the supreme. We are not saying that Krishna is the supreme. Who says that is Brahma? Who says that is Arjuna? We are not saying. We are just here repeating Shastra. If you don't want to hear the Shastra, sorry. Ishvara Parama Krishna. There are so many Ishwaras, but the supreme Ishvara is Krishna. So he has no beginning. He is the beginning of everything. Only this phrase for us is completely, it blows up our mind. We can't understand that. Anadir Adri Govinda is enough for the whole life of research. Anadir, no beginning. Adi, he is the beginning. He doesn't have beginning, he is the beginning. How's that possible? Sarva Karana Karana, he is the cause of everything. So, there is no way to think about anything what he's doing that we can do the same. You know, it's only rasa, relationship, how he is treating, his kindness, his connection with the jivas, how he tries to satisfy them and have a relationship with them. This is the rasa. He wants to, Prabhupada said, the objective of Krishna Lila is to attract us again to the spiritual world. This is the objective of Krishna Lila. Why? Because we are attracted to be happy, to enjoyment. And then if we don't see that Krishna is enjoying eternally, and then we will be attracted to Maya, temporary enjoyment. Enjoyment must be there. Must. It's part of the soul. You just change the enjoyment from being temporary and miserable to be eternal enjoyment. You understand? So Krishna Lila is for that. And then instructions is in Uddhava Gita and Bhagavad Gita, and all Krishna's devotees, they are giving instructions. What we have to do. It's enough. No more instructions. What else? Enough instructions he's giving. Too much. This is the reason why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami put everything in 2 rules. Always remember Krishna, never forget him. 2 rules only. Always remember Krishna, never forget him. What Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said? Nam nakari bahuda nija sarva shaktis tatarpita niyamita smarane nakalaha etadrishi tavakripa bhagavam mamapi durdaivan idrishan ihajani nanuraga. Nam nakari bahuda nija. Nija sarva shaktis, all the energies, Krishna's own energy is in his names. Namna Akari, all variety Akari of names. Bahuda, many. Namna Akari Bahuda Nijas, all the Krishna's own energies. In Kali Yuga, they are in Krishna's names. Namna Akari Bahuda Nijas Sarvashaks. Tatarpita Niyamita Smarane Nakala. Although it's very powerful, no strict rules for chanting. Why? Because there are so many rules for chanting mantras. This mantra with his hand in this time of the day, in this muhurta, blah, 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 blah. This is all mantras, so many rules. This is Vedic culture. So many mantras, so many rules. Hare Krishna Mahamantra, not very fixed. You can chant any time and all the time is auspicious. Niyamita Nakala, etadrishi tava kripa. This etadrishi tava kripa. Your mercy. Bhagavan mamapi. Mama means my Bhagavan. Bhagavan mama. Because my Lord. Bhagavan mama api. Api means certainly. You're so nice. You are my Lord. This is the reason why there are no strict rules for chanting, and in all your names you put your own energies. Why? Because you are so merciful. Etadrishitava kripa. To your kripa. This is the reason why. And then he said in the last, Durdaivan, Idrishan. Durdaivan, Durda, my heart is hard. Durdaivan, Idrishan, Ihajani, Nana, Nanuraga. Because I am unfortunate. I was born Ihajani, Nanuraga. None anuraga. Anuraga means attachment. Means I don't have attachment to chant your names. Because I am Durdaivan. I am selfish. I am crazy. I am distracted. I am unqualified. So the attachment to chant wasn't born in my heart, although the chanting is everything. Instructions, clarifications, what to do, what not to do, where is the mercy. That's very clear. And I was talking about rules and rules. You know, I told this verse, and then this verse is telling there are no rules for chanting, not fixed, very heavy rules. The Hindus, they don't understand that because they have so many rules. And then Hare Krishna is just chanting and dancing and have prasada, and they don't understand Sankirtan movement. The Indian devotees preach to their countrymen what the Sankirtan movement is about. Not this, for you to have, okay, you Hare Krishna, you are Hindu or not? Oh, yeah, I think you are Hindu, but you worship Narayana, but you don't follow any rules, so many rules we have to follow. Why are you not following? No, this is not your line. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's line. The verse I spoke in the beginning of the class. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam Tatra Dharana Paraha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam, the opinion of Lord Chaitanya, Tatra Dharana Paraha, is apart from his opinion, no other opinion is superior. No other opinion is superior to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's opinion. This is Sankirtan movement, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Who is the authority? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the authority. His opinion for us is supreme. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumarta Maham. Prema Pumarta Maham, the ultimate goal of life. Prema is described in Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam. The pure Amalam Bhagavatam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the authority, our authority, supreme authority. What he is saying for us is law. The rest is fine, not law. What's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's opinion about this and this and this and this and this? He broke so many rules, so many. Haridas Thakur, Muslim guy, Namacharya, come on. The Smarta Brahmana said, this is crazy. We don't accept that. This is what happened. Big fighting against Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, it doesn't matter from where he's coming from. And the Smarta Brahmana said, you're crazy. You're crazy. And then they fight.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mother. Anyone else with anything to say?
Okay, we good here. Good to
See,
go.
I have a question from the second paragraph, if I may put it up here. The second paragraph, it says, since Jarasandha possessed demoniac qualities from birth, naturally he became a great devotee of Lord Shiva. It says, since Jarasandha possessed demoniac qualities from birth. So that's my question. How does one possess certain qualities right at the time of birth? And if someone like Jarasandha possesses demoniac qualities, so that means that is his nature. And if that is his nature and he's acting demoniac, why does he get blamed? That's his nature. Everybody acts according to his nature. Jarasanda's nature by birth is demoniac. So if he's acting demoniac, why does he get blamed for being demoniac, which is his nature?
This is also natural, isn't it? Yeah. Is it okay? You follow your nature. Even Kaliya said that. Kaliya was telling Krishna, "I'm so sorry." Krishna told Kaliya, "You know what? Get out from here. I don't want to see you here in Vrindavana. Go wherever you want to go." And Prabhupada said that Kaliya went to Fiji, went to live in Fiji. Before Kaliya left, he told Krishna, "I'm so sorry. This is my nature." And you know that it's very difficult to control someone's nature. But then, yeah, it's okay. It's very difficult, and this is his nature. And naturally, what happened? He did bad things, and he got punished in the due course of time. Also, naturally, you act in certain way naturally, and then you get the reaction for such a thing. You know, this is one point. Another point of the purport is that he's telling that naturally he became attracted to worship Shiva. Why? I think maybe somebody has this question. Why? Shiva is good according to us. Yeah, but he is the ruler of Tamagun. And all the demoniac people and with demoniac nature and activities, ghosts, all these things, intoxication is all under the mode of ignorance. Who is the boss? Shiva. And this is the reason why the demoniac and ghosts and people and all these creatures, they worship Shiva, because he's the boss of the mode of ignorance. It's just a service, like a ministry. It doesn't mean he's bad. He's just doing some service. This is the way we have to understand. Vedic culture is all common sense and very, very very intelligent, from a superior intelligence, that Krishna's intelligence. The way to understand that is by studying and by chanting. Then we can understand. We see this is just natural. There is nothing like a big thing or a problem or a conflict, nothing like that. Even Rupa Goswami wrote a book called Lagu Bhagavatamrita about apparent contradictions in Srimad Bhagavatam. He clarifies in Lagu Bhagavatamrita, Rupa Goswami, all these apparently, conflicts between one thing and another. He said that both things can coexist, they can exist together. Very liberal, completely different from other paths, our path. Okay, so we should not make this, other religious paths. They are very different from Vedic culture. They always consider the three modes of nature. And people psychic and Chaturvarnya Mayashristam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. Guna Karma. Everybody's under Guna and Karma. Different Guna, different Karma. So how to classify, how to judge, how to categorize. This is the reason why we should be very interested about our own spiritual progress. Because the spiritual journey is individual journey. Individual. Each life we are progressing. And it's very beautiful. Okay, so no questions anymore. It was a pleasure, guys, to be with you again. Sorry for the delay.
It's okay. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
So
Hare Krishna.
Without further questions, comments, any realizations to share, we're going to humbly ask the devotees to kindly unmute. Govinda Prabhu, oh, you have, okay, Prabhu. Okay, go ahead. Govinda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, my respectful obeisances to you. It's always good to hear from you.
Thank you.
I have a very simple question. I would like to question you because I don't want you to go. I want you to speak more. You see, my question is, the living entities are born of different natures. So, passion, ignorance, goodness. And then also there are the categories of the varnas, which we have the brahmanas, the kshatriyas, vaishyas, and sudras. Now, the brahmanas are considered the head of the society. The brahmanas are considered the intellectuals. So they guide, they explains to the other three classes of men about the importance of self-realization, more especially. Krishna, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he's the most intelligent person in the whole universe. Of course, he's the source of knowledge. So I'm wondering why Krishna, when he was on the planet, he assumed the position of a Kshatriya. Why not Brahmana, but he was a Kshatriya? This is my question. Hare Krishna.
Very good question. Krishna is a Kshatriya. He was fighting Jarasandha and fighting everybody. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita why he comes to punish and for rewarding punish. And this means Kshatriya Varna. It means Kshatriya Varna. He's the boss. He's the supreme boss. Supreme boss. You remember that Prabhupada got this deity in New York. It's called Kartamishai. Kartamishai, very nice deity. I always like this name, Kartamishai. And then somebody asked Prabhupada, what does it mean? Prabhupada said, Krishna, o chefão. The boss, the big boss. You know the mafia? Means Krishna, the big boss. So he is the boss, and boss means Kshatriya, Kshatriya Varna. They are the administrators, they are the managers of the universes, you know. They give rules, and they are advised by Brahmanas, you know, because they are involved in too much passion. And then you have a counselor, the Brahmanas, they are not so involved, they are observing, and they have knowledge, so they can give their suggestions and opinions about certain matters that people involved in the mode of passion that maybe are not seeing the whole picture. You know, everything about is very intelligent and very balanced. So then you have the Brahmanas. You have the Brahmanas to balance everything. Vedic culture is perfect, but in Kali Yuga, it will not work. It will not work. In Kali Yuga, you know, 10,000 years, we have to go back home. You know, Vedic culture is something else that had happened many years ago. So, what I was saying, lost the point. Yeah, that's it. Krishna comes to rule, and rule means Kshatriya Varna. So he doesn't want to rule as a Brahmana, you know. He comes to kill demons. Paritranaya sadhunam, you know? No, isn't it? Paritranaya sadhunam verse, Bhagavad Gita. He said why he's coming. He's not entering contradiction with himself. You understand? And of course, and then he enjoys in Vrindavana as a cowherd boy, you know, as a Vaishya. He goes to this, and he also as a the dwarf Vamana. He is a Brahmana. You know, it was a very small role and very short, but he came as a Brahmana. Okay, so is this. It's not superior. We can't say it's superior. It's just the Brahmanas. They have different, what's the name? Different
roles.
duties.
Uh,
Duty. Not like this, they are, superior. Let me share something with you guys. It's important, I believe. Um, India, Bharata was under, was 1,000 years under colonization. 1,000 years. And you know why? Because kshatriyas were not here. They didn't have an army. They didn't have an army. They didn't have kshatriyas. Because Parashurama, he killed 21 kshatriya generations, isn't it? So that time, there were no kshatriyas. So people, they came and conquered everything. So, for any society, kshatriya varna is very, very important and is naturally there. So if brahmanas, they do the management, this is a mistake. It's a mistake. When brahmanas do management, there is a mistake. What the main mistake? They can't punish the criminals. And then because they don't punish the criminals, they get empowered and they increase. They increase in numbers. This is what happened, fourth canto of SRIMAD Bhagavatam, Prithu Maharaj. The Brahmanas killed the king, and then they got disturbed by all these criminals in the kingdom. Brahmanas cannot fight criminals. Brahmanas will not kill anyone. They will not touch guns. They cannot do that. That's not their nature. So the society, they need kshatriyas for protection. Otherwise, they are, wow, so many bad things can happen. So this is my answer to your question.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Hope you agree.
Thank you. Yes. I agree with you.
Agree.
Thank you.
You know everything. You just like Ramananda Roy. Ramananda Roy told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why you are making me make these questions? How what can I teach you? You know everything. Ramananda Samvada. This is the name of this dialogue between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Roy. Ramananda Samvada. The conversation, Samvada, conversation. So sweet, isn't it?
Yeah. Ravinda Devi, please unmute and go ahead. Ravinda Devi.
Hare Krishna. Yes, I wanted to thank you for giving class today, and I totally agree with the understanding is that everyone and all of the attributes that Krishna infuses us with is important. So you gave a very nice explanation of what happens and what the world is like without kshatriyas. And so there's a need for each varna in order to create balance. So, in the age of Kali Yuga, with false ego, everyone wants to be a brahmana because there's a certain prestige attached to it. But, it also says in Shastra, there are no brahmanas in this age of Kali Yuga, but, it's shiny. Everybody wants to hold it.
Very good.
Just like with the kshatriyas, we just got a lot of, and I know it happens all over the world, but there's a set of rogues raiding and stealing from temples of all kinds, Muslim, Christian, Hindu, like they're going to these places that are mode of goodness. And they're going in and they're taking weapons and they're counting on people being God conscious and moral and nice and welcoming, and then they take advantage of it. So it's as you clearly noted, in Shastra, it says there's a need for those who can do the necessary and not flinch, handle whatever it is if it's protecting the devotees. Some people are not geared for that, and they're running temples, and they don't want to offend, which is also a bhakti tenet, right? but you have to be able to discern when the necessary is needed. And there's a lot of people that are groomed in society in terms of people who think they're in control to traumatize people so that they don't respond appropriately, even if violence is needed. You know, some people abuse children and women, but if someone were to come and do something else, they wouldn't do anything. So there's an imbalance in that. And Shastra clearly states, as you said, the Kshatriyas are needed to handle the overflow.
The criminals.
Yes, yes. They grow like a fungus if nobody's there to kill them.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Mitravinda, for it's kind of like a question and comment statement also. But there was a time a devotee gave class on this platform, and the theme was on guests, like receiving guests. And I remember I did mention that the description of receiving guests in the scriptures is very difficult to follow in most parts of the world, especially like in the US here. Like what Madam Mitravinda is saying, there are these crazy rogues. They say they're from Romania. They enter into places of worship and then attack people and loot everything from them. And if you're not lucky, they can kill you. So we live in a very dangerous world. So it's not so easy to welcome anybody and everybody into your home. You have to be very sure that the person you are receiving is safe. It's not coming in to cause any danger to you. You know, even when you're trying to protect yourself, they're trying to break into. What to speak of just welcoming them in. So, like Mother Nitya Kishore, what you were saying, that we read the scriptures, we should understand that this is Kali Yuga. There are so many things that is actually not practical to practice. And then we can practice, but it cannot be done exactly the way the scriptures say.
It's not
Yeah.
applied. But
Yes.
the problem is that we have to study more deeply the Shastras, because there are Shastras coming from the Goswamis, Jiva Goswami, especially Sanatana Goswami. There are Shastras coming from Bhaktivinoda Thakur, a very down-to-earth person. And also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that all the bad habits can be smashed by chanting. All the bad habits. So what else you have to do? You have to chant with faith. You understand? And you have to develop your chanting. Oh, I'm not doing good. And then you try every day. You cry because you cannot do it properly. You beg for mercy. You tell Krishna, when I will be chanting with attention? When I will remember you? Because this is the goal, not something else. Mitravinda said, oh, the people think that the Brahmanas are superior, so everyone wants to be Brahmana. Come on, baby, you are not. You are something else. Follow your nature. Be happy. Discover your nature. Discover your natural talents. Engage that. Don't try to prove anybody to anyone, superiority or down or wherever is there. Who are you actually? Self-realization, self-knowledge. Who are you? And then we're concerned about to be superior to somebody else. Who cares about superiority? Who cares? You understand why I'm so concerned? It's very mundane thing, very mundane, very low, very mundane, very, very tamagun, very tamagun.
But it's the world is so much into that, everyone. But Nitya, Kishore, David, I want to say this aspect of chanting, right? What happens? What's the perspective when someone's chanting more and you see behaviors that are opposite of bhakti?
Behaviors that are opposite when?
Yeah, like more of the, attacking or being unkind to devotees comes out, and there's more chanting, more external sadhana, right?
Yes.
What's the perspective on that, and how can we help devotees through that when someone's doing more sadhana, but it's like cleaning the closet, right? More things may be coming up internally that they're dealing with, and it's being expressed outwardly.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But the point is, why somebody else's problems are triggering in me some other behavior. That's the point. Why we are concerned or so worried about it, we should be more introspective. Somebody's going through their own process. And if somebody's aggressive, they're chanting, he's chanting, she's chanting, but the person is aggressive or not so friendly. So I just don't have to be with the person. He's going through their own process. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about we ourselves with our own japa. It's like if sometimes, of course, anybody can become upset or angry at something. Like, I signed a contract with an Indian company, to do some job here in our office, and they were just, they made me very upset, and I was screaming at them. That's my work. I said, what are you doing? Why you are cheating like this? So sometimes this is the work. It doesn't mean that I'm chanting Hare Krishna and then somebody's cheating and say, oh yes, I'm so sorry, I'm so low, and yes, I deserve that. You're just cheating me. No, not like that. It's something when you are chanting japa, if you are hearing your japa, and then whatever you have to do for you to have a life completely like 100% like that, you have to come again, born again, and born in such nature that you will not have a need of a computer, of a microphone, or anything else. It's something very internal, very you, only you. And I'm talking about others. Yes, it happens. It happens with people chanting so much japa or doing so much tapas and get very angry because the austerities make your heart more hard-hearted. It can happen also, but they go into their own process. After sometimes they change, But we shouldn't be close to people that don't appreciate us, and they are aggressive, and they are not loving. We have no obligation to be around people like that. No obligation. In the name of tolerance. No, I'm very tolerant. You please mistreat me. That's wrong. Please mistreat me because I'm practicing tolerance. I want to be lower than the strong, the street. So please mistreat me. It is not going to work. It doesn't work like that. This is not the process. I'm 100% sure.
I think I agree with you too, Mother.
No, I'm 100% sure. Can bring whomever you want to discuss.
Yeah.
They're telling me that Trinada Pisunichana verse means that you have no self-esteem, means that you have no goals, no perspective, that everything about you is negative, and this is Trinada Pisunichana. This is not correct, for sure. Trinada Pisunichana has to do with prema bhakti, and very elevated, sincere, genuine feeling for very, very elevated people. They really feel like that. It's such a serious thing. Not like that you are working and then you want to apply Trinada Pisunichana in your working. You have to do what you have to do. And you have to have common sense. Naturally. Naturally. It happens naturally when you are practicing, when you are reading. You want to improve yourself. You want to improve your behavior. You want to be more compassionate. It depends on people. Sometimes people are very passionate. They have no patience, so they have to train that or something else. Or their communication is not good, is aggressive. You have to understand also if the environment you are triggering you to have such behavior. It's also very important. I give you an example. There are some movies, when they want to rob somebody. The whole gang makes people understand that this person is crazy. The person is normal, but then they start to treat this person as if this person was crazy. And the person start to really get really freaking out. And then they see, you see, you are crazy. And then they give the injection. What is that? The person was normal. They made up everything. So we should be very careful to understand if the environment that we are in is against our ethics, it's against our understanding, against our values, and triggering us bad behavior. We should be very, very careful with that. Why I'm telling this? Because of the verse Trinada Pisu Nityana, many of our members think that putting themselves in such difficult situations they are practicing tolerance. But actually, this is not what's happening. They're just getting bitter. They're just getting sick. They are just, triggering them stupid behaviors, bad behaviors. There's nothing to do with them. The environment is making them bad, worse, triggering things that shouldn't be there. So we should be very intelligent, not fanatics, not a cult. We should be not a cult. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not any cult. Srila Prabhupada is not from any cult. Why should be a cult? Against a common sense. We shouldn't. I'm completely sure. Bring whomever you want to discuss. Somebody's telling that bad environments is good for develop your tolerance. You don't have to. Material world is already miserable all the time. It's very difficult to live. It's very difficult to work. Even if you're a billionaire, you have problems. This is the nature of this world already. You don't have to put yourself in difficult situations, more difficult. Live is already difficult. And if you have facility, chant more. If you have facility, give charity. If you have facility, give shelter to others who are suffering more than you. If you give facility, don't put yourself in difficult situations to prove to others that you are austere or you want to develop tolerance. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. You have facility, you give shelter to others. You give charity to others. You help others with your facilities. This is positive. Negative, you put yourself in difficult situations. Why? You understand what I mean?
Well, thank you so much, Mother NITYA Kishore. Well, some of us, if not all of us, truly appreciate your classes, and more especially today's class. And I should say that we are very fortunate because we have lots of devotees on this forum who are doing exactly what you're saying. Whatever little they have, they share it with devotees. They go out every day and distribute prasadam to devotees, even though they have very scanty means to live in their own lives. But whatever little they have, they go out there and share with the devotees, which is beautiful. And they don't make any noise about what they're doing. They stay cool low profile. They just do it as a service, not for name or recognition. So I applaud such devotees. Very exemplary.
nice.
Yes.
Okay, it's 10
And
p.m.
thank you for
here.
the class. Yes, it's late your time. Thank you so much. Thank
Okay,
you so
and
much.
you know, like, why should I speak all the time like that? I'm okay. I don't want to disturb anybody.
No. Well, we were talking about nature. We were talking about Jarasandha, his nature. Maybe
Nature.
you follow in your nature, and there is nothing wrong. So, thank you. So, dear devotees, at this point, we're going to ask all the devotees to kindly unmute.
Thank you so much, NITYA KISHORE.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Hey. Prema Sampita Ki Jai.
Jai, Jai Shila Prabhupada.
So please unmute and then we chant Big Hare Krishna to express our appreciation to our speaker. Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Rama,
Hare Rama Hare
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Hare.
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Chakapatariya Kripa
Kripa
Sindhu
Sindhubhya Evacha,
Vacha
Patitana
Patitanam
Kavale,
Pavanevyo Krishna Vivyo Namo Namaha.
All glory to the grace, Nitya Kishore Devi Ki Jai.
Shila Prabhupada ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Supreme Movement ki Jai. Avatar ki Jai.
Ki Jai.
Oh, glórias to ISKCON África. Hare Krishna. See you.
Krishna.
Haribo, bye-bye.
Haribo.
Haribo.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.